The Cleveland Browns. Now, if you noticed over the part of the 2019 regular season, you've shown that I have shown quick disappointment to swift optimism that the Cleveland Browns were my pick to at least try to steal out wild card for the AFC North. That's been kind of an up and down over the course of the tanking of the Bengals, the inconsistencies and injuries, and still the topic of the land. Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens that dominated, of course, the season till latter half, and even upsetted the New England Patriots after they came off a huge winning streak. And the Cleveland Browns were supposed to be the safe haven because they had over the offseason. Of course, you had the dynamic duo, the O line, even though the only person to actually uh, break out was the running back after putting a team to play second round tender. I think they put a restricted contract over Kareem Hunt. They signed a $42 million 4-year deal with Austin Hooper, tight end that had a breakout 780 something yard season with the goddamn Atlanta Falcons. Is terrible and defensively prone the Falcons team was. Austin Hooper knew how to catch the football whenever Matt Ryan or Matt Schaub was chugging up the football. The guy could hit it out deep. He had some spin moves. The guy was tremendous around the board. He has the size and the shape to do it, and he's good off the red zone threat. And I think that was what they were waiting for, because David Njoku, I don't think he was productive at all since the preseason. I thought he had some prime times in the 2018 season when they went a 7-9. We thought optimism's up the air. They got their breakout quarterback. They have a better coaching staff now with a better GM. And then Freddie Kitchens didn't know how to deal with a Pro Bowling deep threat like Odell Beckham and stuck with the slant route and terrible flat route plays. And then just went off a running scheme or any high school coach in New York City. And then literally just blew the team off the water, making them inconsistent as hell with a poor O-line. At least they pick up Jack Coughlin from the Titans for a big 3-year deal. And for running back help, they picked up Andy Jungovich and then Kevin Johnson on the secondary help because they didn't have any lockdown secondary. And they picked up Case Keenum for the Redskins for a 3-year, $18 million deal, including $10 million guaranteed. And Andrew Sanju. I don't know why, it's just dumb. As well as D tackle Andrew Billing for a 3.5. I thought the most positive signing coming from this was, of course, Jack Coughlin. The O-line for the Titans was just prime amazing. Over the course of the season, of the offseason, I think the only person that they lost that I think was a huge loss was either just Joe Schobert to the Jaguars. Christian Kirksey, he has a great upside, but if it's injuries that's been holding his team back, Demetrius Harris, tight end. They are losing depth in the tight end position. Getting Austin Hooper was a great upgrade. Getting O-line help from the Titans, that's a huge upgrade. Demarius Randall, that's a tough one. We don't even know what team he's going to. So, pretty much a pretty negative effect. I obviously want the production for Baker Mayfield to actually go up from his rookie season because he came hitting up pedestrian stats. I think he got more picks than he did uh, completions for a majority of the season. It's tough to see uh, Baker Mayfield actually produce less. Because most of what he was doing was either pistol or shotgun, where he was just shoveling up in the pocket and sometimes he'll run out, but it just felt like he was just not doing as well as he did. He went for a 22 of 21. It's either him chucking up the ball up midfield or hitting it short for a dismay of an incompletion, or at least Odell Beckham catching at least for a 13. It just did not seem the way Baker Mayfield. It felt like they were uncomfortable in their scheme. The only person to produce well was Nick Chubb, as well as Kareem Hunt to rotate with him now, and I felt like that was a smart idea, but he rushed over 298 for 494. He did amazing, grabbing 8 touchdowns. He's obviously the primitive offensive threat, and if you want to make Odell Beckham stay, you got to make him have a more productive scheme. He had less complete catches than Jarvis Landry, so there has to be a huge upside into this. There has to be. I'm just expecting a lot more of the Cleveland Browns because the previous season of the 2018 season, I felt like they had some upside. They got rid of an injury prone. They fixed up their old. They got a prime guy to help out with their offensive line issues. Even I feel like their problems are the guard position. They're not that good at all. Get get an injury prone defensive player out to their scheme to the Packers that are kind of weak on the linebacking part of the team. They have Ernest Johnson, Malik Jefferson, Robert Jackson, Hillard. Oh my god, the only person to produce was just, oh my god, there wasn't that many defensive players to produce around if we just go around the numbers, man. It's not that much as you think it is. Just the rookie from the Giants that they traded to get Odell Beckham. Jabril Peppers was the only person to produce well that was a Brown. And now he's not a Brown, he's a Giant. Because there's still positives. Myles Garrett was at least a fifth ballot defensive player of the year before uh, somehow he thought helmets can bounce out a quarterback's head over Mason Rudolph in that primetime game. Sheldon Richardson, of course, Joe Schubert, Denzel Ward that had 2 picks with a fumble recovery the last couple games. Demarius Randall that averaged 2.5 sacks. He did amazing. Jermaine Whitehead. They have amazing defensive talent. If they add up more on the secondary level, this team could probably win at least 8 or 9 games. I'm just expecting more of this young team. So there's some optimism. It just feels good to make sure I don't scream at all because I just thought it was a letdown the Browns had last season. Do I think that the offense has to improve more than the defense? Yes. Secondary can barely beat a freaking paraplegic. So if they can just do some stuff on the defensive side of the ball and improve their way their pass blocking works and keep that strong running game, the Browns could be a threat come the 2020 regular season. So that's much of what I'm going to give you over the offseason so far. If any more free agency signings happen for the Cleveland Browns, then I hope there is because they need to pick up on an offensive lineman real quick, especially in the guard position. I feel like they're still missing a number 3, especially a slot option in the receiving core. They need one. So that's practically it in that level of what in the hell the Browns need to do. Because they got I didn't do it, Kareem Hunt. They picked up a great lineman and a good safe haven on the offensive side, on the defensive side of the ball. So that's practically it for my update of the Browns free agency so far. So that'll be it. I mean, I want to do more detail in the summer where everything's looked out and we know how these players are going to be competing because the summer you get you get the full roster. So that's practically it. Come from the DSD show. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. That'll be it coming from me.